Hi YouTube, it's Mike with Kane Autograph. Welcome back to the channel. My mailbox has been full of TTM returns. For anyone new to the channel, TTM is through the mail autographs. Let's check out what's coming in this week. Let's start off with returns for the team challenge. Chase over at Chase and Inc. is running a football team challenge, and my team is the Vikings. Pretty simple concept. You got a window of when you can send out and get returns in, and you get 1 point for every autograph that you get back. So Rich Karlis at 202 in 11 days. He played for the Broncos, Vikings, and Lions from 1982 to 1990. He's famous for barefoot kicking. Kind of a unique fact, he kicked the game-winning field goal in overtime of the 1986 AFC Championship, sending Denver to the Super Bowl. He's remembered as the last full-time barefoot kicker in NFL history. Another point for me is from Kirk Loudermilk, 202 in 15 days. He was an offensive lineman for the Vikings and Colts, started in 150 games in his career, and he was known as being a tough guy in the trenches. Another quick return in 11 days from Ray Berry. So he played 7 seasons for the Vikings, and then he spent his last season playing for the Seattle Seahawks. Kind of cool fact about him: in college at Baylor, he earned Sports Illustrated College Football Defensive Player of the Week after a game-saving interception that helped Baylor upset the number 2 ranked University of Southern California. Pretty cool big award like that even before you get to the pros. My next return is from Keith Millard, 3 of 3 in 11 days, and he was a defensive tackle for the Vikings, Seahawks, and Packers. At his peak, he was one of the most dominant linemen in the NFL. He won the Defensive Player in 1989 with 18 sacks. Chris Hovan, a 2-2 return in 14 days, and he was a defensive tackle for the Vikings, Buccaneers, and Rams from 1999 to 2009. He was a first-round draft pick by the Minnesota Vikings, and he was known for his black eye and fiery play that made him a big favorite with the fans. Paul Krause, a Hall of Famer, 101 in 15 days, and I did pay a fee for this. And he still holds the NFL record for career interceptions with 81. Spent most of his time with the Vikings, played in 4 Super Bowls. Unfortunately, it was with the Vikings, so he lost 4 Super Bowls. Next up, Roger Craig, a 2-2 in 14 days, and he was running back for the 49ers, Raiders, and Vikings. 4-time Pro Bowl, 3-time Super Bowl champion with San Francisco. First player to ever record 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards in the same season. Darren Nelson, he was a star running back at Stanford, drafted number 7 by the overall 1982 Minnesota Vikings. He played 9 seasons with the Vikings, plus some time with the Chargers and Cowboys. At Stanford, he became the first player in NCAA history to rush for 4,000 yards and catch 200 passes. That does it for my team challenge. Now let's get into the rest of my returns. A 2-2 return from Jimmy Saxton in 24 days, and he was a utility infielder who played from 1977 to 1983, and he played for teams like the Astros, the A's, the Cardinals, the Mariners. He was more known for his speed than his bat, and he was a pinch runner and defensive replacement. Andy Dirks, a 2-2 in 29 days. He was an outfielder for the Tigers from 2011 to 2013, a key role player during their playoff runs, and he did help the Tigers reach the 2012 World Series. Unfortunately, injuries wrecked his career, and you can see him on that card smashing into that wall trying to grab that ball. Maybe stuff like that led to those injuries. Mike, and I'm going to butcher this last name, Igancic, 2-2 in 29 days. He was a pitcher for the Brewers between 91 and 95, mostly in relief. He was originally drafted by the Brewers out of Michigan. After his baseball career, he went back to school and became a dentist. Evan Butler, 1 of 1 in 11 days, and this is one of those cards. I already had Tony Franklin on it, and I'm trying to get the dual sign card, so I sent it off. He was a legendary kicker for the Chicago Bears and Arizona Cardinals. He won a Super Bowl as a rookie with the 1985 Bears. I bet he has some great stories from those Bears teams. Next return in 71 days, a 3-3 from Scooter Tucker. He was a catcher who played parts of 3 major league seasons with the Astros and the Indians in the early 90s. He mostly served as a backup catcher, but he was the personal catcher for Mark Clark in Cleveland, a rare arrangement for a backup. And then after that, he became a coach and managed in the minor leagues. So here's another one of those multiplayer cards I'm trying to get signed. I already had this signed by Gene Heiser, 1 of 1 in 36 days by um, Earl Stevenson. I'm kind of on the fence. Bert Hooton will sign, but he's really inconsistent and it's a long time. I don't know if I'm going to take a chance and send it out or if I'm just going to put it and keep it as is. Here's back to football. Ethan Horton, 2-2 in 40 days. He was drafted in the first round by the Kansas City Chiefs as a running back, but he found his niche as a tight end with the Raiders. He won the NFL Comeback Player of the Year in 1990 after switching positions, catching 33 passes for 537 yards and 5 touchdowns. That year, he also made it to the Pro Bowl. A 3-3 return in 24 days from Bill Long. He was a right-handed pitcher who played 6 seasons in the majors, mostly with the White Sox, but he spent time with the Cubs and Expos. In 1987, he threw 151 innings without giving up a single home run. That's pretty remarkable. The next return, Lonnie Young, a 2-2 in 24 days. He was a safety who played 12 seasons from 1985 to 1996 with the Cardinals, the Jets, the Chargers. 12th round pick who carved out a really long career. Kind of a unique fact, he played in 200 career games. After retiring, he worked in player personnel for the Ravens and the Jets. A 2-2 return from Pete Metzelaars in 77 days. Tight end who played amazing 16 years in the NFL, mostly with the Bills during their Super Bowl runs. He's remembered for his durability and his blocking. Dale Sveum played in the majors for 12 seasons, and then he went on to manage the Milwaukee Brewers. He was part of that Brewers team in 1987 who started the season with 13 wins in a row. Brian Meadows, 2-2 in 19 days, and Brian pitched for multiple teams in the late 90s and 2000s, including the Marlins and the Pirates, racked up over 100 starts in his major league career. So Dennis Cook was a left-hander with a long career. He had World Series appearances with the Phillies and the Mets, and he won a ring with the 1997 Florida Marlins. And main reason I sent this, I had Ken Hill signed on that prospect card, and I wanted it signed by both of them. He does charge $5 a card, but he got it back to me in a quick 13 days. This next guy, Greg Boomer Wells, a 1-1 return in 19 days to fill out this triple card for me. And he had a short major league career, but he was a superstar in Japan where he won the Triple Crown in 1984. And then my last return for this video, Keith Willis, 2-2 in 13 days. He's defensive lineman for the Pittsburgh Steelers throughout the 80s, and then he went into coaching, and he helped mentor that new generation of defensive players. I hope you found some returns that you really liked, and hopefully I gave you some ideas of who you want to send to. Let me know what one's your favorite. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.